living a dream.
Where are we today on Wellness Wednesday, Spare?
So today we're going to be talking about addiction to stress.
Ooh.
Yes.
And that's a real conversation.
So recently there was, I think it was Tuesday. Tuesday was yesterday, right?
Yes, yesterday was Tuesday, yeah.
So was a bit late for my hair appointment and I was stressing so much. You would swear, Wuti, this was like a proper big problem. And then I had to like step back and ask myself, am I just addicted to stress? Because there's no need for me to be losing my head over being 5 minutes late. And granted, I'm a very punctual person and I really respect time, but there was no need for me to stress the way I was stressing. Like I was stressing, you know. And I'm like, okay, is it possible that as people we've just become very accustomed to stress to the extent where when you're not stressing, you stress that you're not stressing. And you find a reason to stress because it's just your constant state of mind.
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one.
Right?
Take a pen and a paper. And most of us are walking in that current space where you are stressing about, you are not stressing. And it's towards a very important event in your life, a very important meeting that you're about to have, an important examination, and you feel relaxed, but you feel you don't deserve it. Do you think
Like,
it's something
why am I relaxing? Why am I so calm?
Help us spare this afternoon.
All right. So stress addiction, it is possible for individuals to become accustomed to or even crave the feelings associated with stress or high cortisol levels. So when you do feel stress or when there is a stressful occasion, your body responds. It's either fight, flight, or freeze, right?
Okay.
And whenever you are faced with danger or just a challenging situation, your body then produces the cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone. It's similar to adrenaline, and it gives you all the energy and strength that you need to solve that problem.
Okay.
So imagine that you are a zebra and you're being attacked by a lion. So then your body produces those hormones to basically help you survive that threatening time.
That moment, yes.
Yes. So cortisol is not bad, right? Because it's there to help us survive. But too much cortisol for a very long time is very deadly and very dangerous. And that is why stress is a slow killer, because of the continuous pump of that hormone that is actually meant to be used for a short period of time for those small and infrequent moments of distress.
Quite interesting. I always thought that it's something that can be cured outside of us, but if it's also part of our natural, is that something that's natural with
It's
every
natural.
human being? Yeah.
Yes, so it just helps us survive.
Okay.
You're going to get adrenaline out of nowhere. Now you can just jump all the fences, you know? And it's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Yes, so it's one of the features that we have that help us survive. But we are constantly in survival mode, which is very unnatural.
Ooh.
So that is why then you just have exposed that hormone too long, and then it starts to affect your body, affect your mind, and definitely your spirit.
Perhaps moving to another province?
Yo, that's my solution to everything.
Because in Gauteng, we're constantly in survival mode, right?
Constantly. It is our culture, actually. It's part of Joburg culture to be constantly in that hustle mode, survival mode, fight, flight, or freeze. And that is so unnatural. It's not. So stress addiction, it's basically an adrenaline rush. It goes back to what I said about you being chased by a dog.
Okay.
It's just that rush. Or when you go bungee jumping, that feeling, that rush that you get, we're saying like that's an adrenaline rush that basically helps you survive stressful situations.
Interesting.
And then there's also a dopamine release. So if, let's say, you have a stressful situation and then you survive it, that release of dopamine, basically like a reward, to say, oh man, I actually did it, I survived that. So dopamine release, you also experience it when you are doing something joyful or when you are scrolling on TikTok. It's a boost of things that make you joyful, and that results in a dopamine release.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's possible to be addicted to that. So you're addicted to challenges because you're addicted to the feeling that you have when you conquer those challenges. So then you associate that with addiction to stress.
So it's sort of like me, who I'm one of those people that always submit my assignment in the very final. Okay. As you're talking, I'm literally thinking, am I now addicted to that stress, that feeling of
That,
I might miss my deadline?
I did it, yes. And it's at the last minute, and you're like, yeah, I did
got
it.
through.
You see?
But what do I feel that void with? Because now I'm thinking from me personal, because I find myself too busy and I keep putting it aside. And then in the final minutes, I drive through this moment. And then when I get the marks, and they're normally good marks, I'm like, wow.
I did it. I'm a smarty pants.
I mean, maybe I'm enjoying that as well.
It's possible. I know that I have.
Probably you have some notes for us this afternoon to help us. But let's keep going, and then when we close up, I hope I will have a solution on how do I deal with this addiction.
And then lastly, it's familiarity and comfort. If you are so exposed to being in survival mode for isikhathi eside, it becomes something that you know. It's like a person who's in a very abusive relationship, and then they move to one that's stable and not abusive. It becomes so strange. It's like, okay, but why are you not abusing me? Because that is a state
what I'm accustomed to.
Yes, that's what they're accustomed to. So even with people who are constantly exposed to stress, when they're not stressed, it's just like, what's going on? So it's familiarity and comfort. And just because it's comfortable doesn't mean it's okay. Yeah.
That also works even in a workplace where you're used to being in a toxic workplace, and then you move to another job, or perhaps when it comes to your seniors in the workplace, as a subordinate, you're used to people who are aggressive, and then you find soft-hearted people who communicate differently, and you get lost in that moment.
You get frustrated in that because it's like, I'm not used to all this kindness and being treated like a human. This is something I've actually observed in the classes that we teach. Like, there's a class that I teach usually towards the end of the week. It's restorative yoga, and it is so slow. Like, we hold postures for between 3 to 5 minutes where you're sitting in stillness. And I can tell you now, my first time practicing it, it was so difficult because I was like, why are we so still? Like, why is nothing going on? Because we're so used to the hustle and the bustle and speeds. Yes. So then when you are forced to embrace stillness, that's when you're just like, okay, I'm not in a state of survival. I'm not in a state of stress. I'm actually calm, and this feels strange.
What age group do you start that class from? I've got a niece who's I think needs something like that to bring them to a space of calmness. She's got into a space where she's super active, she's always doing something. She can't stay doing one thing for more than 5 minutes or whatever. So much that she's a doom scroller. Have you ever seen those doom scrollers for TV? I know on the phone people do it a lot.
I've seen it on TV as well. And just like, it's like, please commit.
One channel, 3 minutes, and then you find something interesting. Everyone is glued. After 3 minutes, just change the channel. And what age group do you start those particular classes from? I think something of that nature would work for her.
It's for anyone and everyone who is in need of stillness and just being guided towards a practice of stillness, because it's not something that you just practice in class, but it's a lifestyle where you make pockets of room for stillness, whether it's be through meditation or prayer, whether it be the nature walks that you mentioned, but just making room for stillness intentionally so that you don't get too lost in this pity.
We've got a question from Arabile. Good afternoon, midday hangout. I feel like Spare is talking about me today. I'm waiting with my pen and paper for solutions as to how I can solve this. Because I struggle with not stressing about things, even the simplest of things that I can afford, like petrol. I get overstressed sometimes when I am on a half tank and I'm not having an opportunity to go to the garage. I'm really hoping for solutions this afternoon because I feel like she Googled me.
Maybe I Googled you. That's also accessible now.
Yeah.
But it's very important to understand that, especially as people of color, we have been in survival mode for isikhathi eside, where your primary focus and goal was to just make it to the end of the day, make it to the end of the month. So when you live in a state of survival for isikhathi eside, there's certain habits that you build and a certain mentality that you build as well, and that feeds into how you live going forward, even when you're not in survival mode. So I think more than anything, before we get into how to tackle that, it's very important to understand that it's very common to be in a constant state of survival, even when there's no need to survive. I'll give you an example. With horses, I love horses so much. Gosh. With horses, I remember the last time I went horse riding, the person who was coaching me told me that horses are in a constant state of fear because they always expect something to attack them. Because they're prey, right?
Yeah.
So I'm riding this horse. Did it not get startled by its own shadow? And I'm like, come on now, get it together.
Wow, that's a scary one.
And these are horses that are like in stables. They're never attacked by anything. They're not even dogs around.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, why are you so scared, bro? Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. But it's a certain nature and a certain state of mind. And if you're in survival mode for isikhathi eside, it's something that becomes embedded in your mentality that you have to unlearn.
Survive, yeah.
You have to unlearn it. Like you'd find, and I hate to say this, but even in politics, where people who have so much money still feel the need to steal and they still tap into greed. And it's just that empty gut and empty stomach mindset where it's like, but you don't need to survive anymore. You don't need to huddle up food, sing out you're harvesting like a bear. You know, you don't have to do that. You're not going to go into hibernation. You have everything you need. Let go of that mentality and let go of that desire to survive, you know, like you're out of that.
And we've got another question coming through from Pilani. He says, do you think also our culture glorifies stress? In greeting, when you're greeting somebody, uthole umuntu athi siyancenga.
Yes. It goes back to what I said. Within the communities of people of color, we have been oppressed for isikhathi eside to the extent where if you do something for too long, it becomes a part of your self-concept.
Okay.
It really does. Because uzibona as umuntu who's constantly surviving. Ay siyancenga, ay siyazama. Hey, siyaphila, siphila, you know? And it's even when ungancengi, you just have that mentality that, you know what, it can't be good for too long. Even that narrative, I don't know if it's something that you've heard before where like umzali would say, ungajabuli kakhulu uzokhala.
Yeah, I've gone through that a lot.
You are stealing my joy. Do you know the hell?
Don't over-celebrate.
Yeah, because it's like you're so used to struggle, you expect it. You're so used to just being in dark spaces, you expect it. It's like, the night is gonna come. And you're just like, but it's been shining for too long. There's something wrong, you know?
Wow.
And not to discredit the seasons are very important. But when you are constantly surviving, when things go well, you feel like someone is playing a prank on you.
Are there signs to watch out for also on the body side when you're now in a space where you are addicted to stress? Is there anything that we can tell from the body itself? Do I go through stages of fatigue or something? What can you share on the body itself when it's now addicted to this stress?
So with consequences of being addicted to stress, there's definitely physical health problems, and being exposed to cortisol for isikhathi eside definitely leads to health issues. So cardiovascular disease is a very big one. The state of your heart is affected deeply by stress. Of the top 3 killers in cardiovascular disease is number 3.
True. Yeah.
And you think, I know it's people who've got heart problems. Their heart problems don't come out of nowhere. You know, there's usually a cause to the problem. So cardiovascular disease is a very big one. Weight gain, sleep disturbances, whether you're sleeping too much or sleeping too little, exhaustion, like violent exhaustion, lack of appetite, your eating patterns being disrupted. So your body's constantly talking to you, whether you are always just clenching your jaw. Every single time when your jaw is like super, super stiff because you are in a constant state of distress. Mentally, then would be depression. It would be mood swings. So your body's always telling you if something is offline and off pattern.
Fun fact, 20.5 million people die from cardiovascular disease every year worldwide. That's a lot.
And then when you tell people that stress is a killer, you're unmotivated and you lack ambition.
How do we solve this? Solutions, Ndombi.
How do you break the cycle? Firstly, self-awareness. You will never know if something's wrong if you don't know what it looks like to be right. Like if you don't know what your body looks like in a healthy state, you will not know if you are no longer healthy. So it's very, very, very important to assess your body and do it honestly. Ungati, you have a problem when you don't have a problem. Ungati, you don't have a problem when you do have a problem. So self-awareness, and not just physically, but even emotionally. If you know you're not a person who's snappy, but all of a sudden, manje, you're cranky, you know, these are things that you need to be cognizant of.
Okay.
And even in spirit, if you are unsettled in spirit, then you must be able to notice these things through self-awareness. And then stress management techniques, whether it be you accessing the Makeba Wellness stress management box.
Number one, yeah.
You know, our stress relief box, that's the purpose, and that's the whole reason why we actually created it, is to basically help people cope with stress, because it's something so many people are exposed to, young, old, whatever economic background you come from, we are constantly exposed to stress. So using nutrition to help you manage stress. So if, let's say, you struggle with gut health issues because you're constantly stressed, then you use food to help heal your gut. You know, if, let's say, you struggle with cramping and your muscles are very tense, then you use bath salts, for example, manzin that have salt, just to help you calm the muscles. So definitely try your best to have stress management techniques that are impactful. So even movement, for example, whether it be you running, taking a walk, practicing Pilates, whatever movement practice that resonates with you, tapping into that helps you manage stress. And also it helps relieve and release dopamine that you would also get from that stress related situation. So if you do have a dopamine addiction, then exercising also gives you access to dopamine, but in ways that are healthy.
I've been using movies as a solution to solve my stress, and now it's not working anymore because even the movies themselves stress me out. Kanyo coming through with that comment.
I know that feeling.
That's Kanyo coming through with that comment. I hope you're taking some notes right now.
Oh, but now it's fun. I had the exact same problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'd watch a series and I'm like, this thing is reminding me of my problem. Oh, jeez.
Now you get stressed about what a character is going through.
Exactly. So the content you consume definitely can actually add to your stress. So be very mindful. But that's fun, and seasons are very different. So maybe in one season, watching series can help you really cope. In another season, maybe just not watching anything and not consuming anything, because we're so overstimulated and constantly pumped with information every waking day, and that's stressful.
Okay, let's keep
really
going.
Is. So those those are the ways that you can break cycle. Also, ask for help. Seeking professional help is so important, because sometimes you think that you're stressed by work, but it's actually something else, and it's just covered with work. But professionals can help you unpack and really unroot everything, and then you know where to start and where the problem started and how to solve it. Because many things are actually very deep-seated and we don't understand. But when someone is looking at it from a different perspective, that person's able to really diagnose you from a professional point.
Very critical conversations we're having this afternoon. All things addiction to stress. Yes, it's real for someone who's wondering, addiction to stress. If you are listening throughout this conversation, there's a lot of lessons that we've learned from this one. How do you wrap it up, Ntombi, for the listeners of Hope Alive Radio?
It's important to make room for joy.
Aye.
Because it's a joyous June. June is so joyous. Oh, the J in joy. The J in June is for joy. Definitely.
Yeah.
And joy is not forceful. Joy is not... it doesn't impose on us. So if you don't make room for joy, you're not going to feel or find joy, right? And I believe that the best way to navigate stressful seasons, stressful situations, just make room for joy. And in ways that you don't have to do this in grand ways, like now you're hosting a gala dinner or now you're flying to Egypt. No, it could be in the smallest things. Like lately, I really enjoy cleaning my space. Like, I never thought I would ever love cleaning my space, but I love to clean now. Like, it makes me feel so good, you know?
Wow, that's
so it's important to then just assess the season and what your needs are and how you can make room for joy. Whether it be you speaking to people that you love, whether it be you eating things that you enjoy, whether it be whatever it is that you need in this season, make room for joy. And most importantly, it's important to just be honest. Be honest, because actually I have this addiction and this is my problem and this is how I'm going to take responsibility and solve it. Because putting a blanket over things just makes it worse.
Wow. Putting a blanket over all things just makes it worse. How do our listeners connect with you beyond this platform? For someone who has liked our talk this afternoon and would love to get more information, and beyond also that, would love to get that Makeba Wellness stress kit, yeah?
So we are on all social media platforms at makeba.wellness, whether it be LinkedIn, Instagram, what's the other one? Our website as well. And on WhatsApp, it's 082-727-5039, 082-727-5039. And you basically just pop us a WhatsApp, and then we can just get the conversation going, whether you need advice, whether you need guidance, or whether you want to order the stress relief box. You just follow the prompts, and then we'll take it from there. And then we have a WhatsApp channel as well, where we share exactly these type of things of how to manage stress, navigate just the wellness journey overall.
Yeah, and to follow that channel, do search for Lulama by Makeba.